Good afternoon, everyone. These are your hosts, Malak,
Arya.
And I'm Shad. Welcome back to the fourth episode of the Good Afternoon Show.
Today, we'll be talking about the mini schools that we've built within our bedrooms, on our desks, and for some of us, on our couches too.
With the strike of the ongoing pandemic, all of us have shifted to online learning, and it was so sudden, with everybody admittedly stumbling a bit at the beginning. We could even say that we're all homeschooled now. Zoom and Edmodo have now become our best friends with how often we see these apps.
And to reflect upon these changes, we are extremely glad to have two special guests, Dr. Farhan and Dietitian Miss Maria, joining us today. With all the chaos around us, everyone has had to make some adjustments to their lifestyle.
The impact of this pandemic has truly surpassed what we ever imagined. Joining us now is someone very special. He's one of the unsung heroes and frontliners of this pandemic, who courageously showed us that not all heroes wear capes. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Farhan.
First, I will introduce myself. My name is Dr. Farhan. I am working in public sector as a family medicine department. I am in Abu Dhabi from 2001, so it's been 20 years serving the public sector.
Okay, so I welcome you with extreme pleasure to the Good Afternoon Show. Right now, Arya is going to start with the first question.
What's the most overwhelming aspect of the current situation?
See, the current situation, life is uncertain, and nowadays after the pandemic, the things are not under our control, right? Like traveling, whatever. Of course, from February 6th, actually, in the Middle East, or the 6th February to 6th March, we have slightly idea what is going to happen. Actually, this virus came from Wuhan, 29th December or 30th December 2019, first case reported. But at this time, nobody taken care of it. But yes, from February, March, slightly we got some cases, but from 23rd March, we got alert in our emergency in public sector. So at this time, the stress was too much. According to me, as a team of public sector, we have lots of resources on time, and mental stress was there, but we try to cope up, because if if we got scared, then the community will get the bad impact from us. Immediately we made a national crisis team, and we just made a plan how to move it. And I thank and I appreciate our leadership. Immediately within a week, we make a different hospitals, different tent, and we manage the COVID patient. We plan that we will keep the normal patient separate from the COVID patient. We immediately made Mohammed bin Zayed Emirates Field Hospital about exhibition center. We change into the facilities. So yes, uh, in that stressful situation, our team and our leadership sat together, and we made a plan. And Alhamdulillah, till now we are one of the safest countries. Where you are sitting, you live in heaven. We are still fighting, but yes, we came across most of the hurdles, because at that time there was no data, there was no research, and believe me, till now there is no treatment. Sometime you heard about, as a non-medical people, the malaria medicine is working, some steroid is working, some antiviral is working, because the other disease medicines we are using to fight against this. But till now, multiple researches and clinical trials has been done. So now we have a pathway, and we are motivated. And right now, as compared to March 2020, the stress level is low, and we are handling the situation.
Yes, of course, Dr. Farhan, as you said, having such a huge responsibility and being part of the public sector, it must have been a lot initially. Due to the surge of the pandemic, how difficult has all of this been, being at the forefront? How has this impacted your experience? And being a frontline worker must have been very stressful too. So, how were you able to manage all this stress?
See, one thing, just keep in your mind, whenever you panic, you will do the mistake. Okay. So, first time when I got my PPEs, the protective personal equipment, I said, what is going on? I mean, I have to wear, why I wore this green suit from March 22nd. We are wearing this suit. We are not allowed to bring the keys, wallet, no belts, because this virus, I will explain you on further, we are not allowed to use our personal belongings. Why? Because we don't know the virus, how this is spread with a pen, with a wallet, with a mobile. And this is the dead protein virus. It can activate from 1 to 4 days anytime, right? So we, as a doctors, healthcare front workers, we have the mental psychological team working behind us. They gave us a motivation lecture to keep our mental health in a positive way, because to see and to touch the patient of COVID is very hard at the,
Yes, of course.
because sometimes you see you are going back to your home and you have to live with your kids, but
Mm.
we have the PPs available, and I have full faith of Allah to fight against it. And if we will be scared, then what will remain about you guys, about the about the community? I think 25 to 30% healthcare workers got stuck and got positive. Immediately, we have the team. So, what we plan is 30% we just send on the forefront, and we check every Sunday. We had a PCR. So, out of 30%, 4 or 5% become positive. We pull them back to quarantine, and then 5%. So, our plan is not to go for 100%, because we are thinking about the rest of the patient who have heart problem, kidney problem, and this kind of problem. But yes, according to me, my life was away from the people. After the duty, I don't want to meet any of the relatives. Whatever the WHO guideline, we never went for parties. We never went for barbecues. Right? I was very active in social media to meet my family on WhatsApp, on bottom, and that's it. Because I said, if I will go, so suppose I will meet 60 patients, and then I don't want to be the victim to spread the virus, right? But we enjoyed time with the family. We prayed a lot, we sleep a lot, physical activity, vitamins. We are like you guys, but yes, we are little bit scared more. But my morale till now is fine. Our mental team is doing very great job, and they said you have to work. And then the one thing, remember always, when there is a hope in your education sector, in your profession center, don't lose the hope. Work hard and rest leave on Allah. The same thing what I did.
So much bravery and to sacrifice a part of your social life for the safety of other people. Something that's so brave and courageous.
Thank you.
So, with the new mutations of COVID-19 on the rise, and you having been in contact with patients, do you see this pandemic coming to an end anytime soon?
This is $1 million question. Frankly, I am telling you, the pandemic will end by the action of you, me, and all. We all are responsible. You know this tagline everywhere. Vaccination will give a good impact, but herd immunity will come forward, and social distancing, hand, face mask, this all 100% everybody should know. By this, if you and me are totally responsible, we both have to shake hand and close and end this pandemic. Believe me, all healthcare in the world working to close this pandemic, right? But I think this will take some time. When the vaccination will be approved, so one vaccination will come, but we cannot say 8 billion people every year we can inject the vaccine, because some countries are poor, some are rich, some are like this, so we cannot inject. What we inject, awareness. And when all the world will get together, that we will not go here there, we will not meet close gathering, because one person can spread the virus for 4 to 6 days, and he don't know, maybe he will be asymptomatic, but he can give the virus to the old people and they will end up in the ICU, right? So according to me, it takes time, but the good time will come, and it depends upon all. If we will continue to follow the SOPs, we will end this virus together.
Yes.
So, looking onto the positive side, with the UAE making tremendous effort to vaccinate, how much do you think this can benefit the situation?
See, UAE leadership I can say no one else in the world can do what UAE is doing. Believe me. UAE leadership said, whatever you need, we will do everything for local, non-local, residents, non-resident, apart from wherever we are. They said, if you are in UAE, you all are my family. Believe me, you and me are lucky to be in this pandemic in this part of the world where we never had the problems in PPE shortage, medicine shortage, food shortage. The food security was there, normal security was there, hospital security was there, PPEs was there. We used to change the dress 10 to 11 times in a day. Never we felt insecure that we don't have the personal protective measure. We don't have the medicines available. In less than 1 month, Mohammed bin Zayed Field Hospital, 600 bed, they made it like this. So this is the leadership. The second question about the vaccination, yes, vaccine will do the work, but if you take vaccine and you think that I did my job, now I will go back to my normal routine life, no, it is impossible. Vaccine can give you the moderate or severe effect to decrease, but with the vaccine also you can get infected. Maybe you will be asymptomatic, but you will give this virus to your elderly, nana, nani, grandfather, grandmother, and they will end up in the ICU, right? So vaccine only decrease the virulence or viral effect to be from moderate severe to be mild, but there are the chances that you will get the virus again. You will be the vector to transmit to your elders. So everybody has to take the vaccine. Drive is very important, very good. You have to take it, okay? But with the vaccine, SOPs more important than vaccine. This is my, it's a message to you all.
Yeah, that's very true.
If you could go back in time to when the pandemic began, what advice would you offer to the world?
Believe me, at that time, if I was aware what is going to happen, actually, I planned at that time to stop travel. The major problem during the pandemic was we traveled the same attitude for 2.5 months. If we close the travel, if we start social distance, so we started the thing whole world. I'm not talking about any country. We got alert in December or January, but we started the SOPs in March and or April. So that time is the one where whole world already got infected. So if I was there, what we did in March, April, May, we should do in January, February, March. But at that point also we recovered well. What had happened happened. Just see the present and just planning for the future. I'm positive and I want you to be positive with me. Get positive awareness. Don't think negative. I always say, see the recovery cases. Less than 2% will end up in ICU. 98% recovered without treatment. Don't leave this country at this time because you are in heaven. This is my personal advice to you. This profession is very good. My wife is also a doctor. We both are working in Seha. I am very much satisfied. And what respect we got. Why you are here? You have to help the humanity, right?
Yeah.
If you bring happiness to one person, you bring happiness to the whole mankind. So believe me, make your heart soft, make yourself hardworking, and help others. If you start to help others, Allah will help you. No hurdle you will face it. This is my personal, a lesson. So think about it. Come in this field, and next 5 years or 10 years, we need more doctors. We need more healthcare workers because we should be more alert, and we need more people to be in this healthcare field.
Thank you. Your experiences, they are so surreal, and we're so grateful for your bravery and commitment to your duty.
I feel like even hearing from your point of view has definitely lifted all of our spirits. And I'm sure the students which will view this episode, they're going to, feel much more optimistic because you work in the medicine field and like you have much more exposure to COVID patients. And despite that, you're definitely the most positive person in this room right now. And that gives us a lot of hope. We're really grateful for your valuable time. Thank you.
Welcome. So be positive, sleep early. You need 8 hours sleep. Okay. Most of the girls and boys don't taking fruits, vegetable. The pandemic diet. We need enough protein. We need green vegetables. We need vitamin D. Okay. And we need lots of fluids. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Goodbye.
much.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Okay guys, so let's start. So all you need to do is have fun during this game. We're gonna count the points that everyone is going to collect with after each question, okay? I'm gonna be saying the questions in the form of a statement. Then I'll be giving you 5 seconds, I'll be counting them loudly, and then you show me your answer. First statement is, high fat foods are bad for you. Okay, can everyone show it please when I say one? You write fact or myth? Myth or fact? Fact, fact, fact. Okay, it's actually a myth because many foods have fat and it's a very important part of our diet. For example, avocado or salmon, all of these are foods which are very essential for our cells, and the high fat foods that are bad are some types that have more fried foods and stuff, okay? Pistachios are considered fruit. It is a fact. So, because pistachios are there is a fleshy part around the seed, and instead of us eating the fleshy part of a fruit like you do in a peach, for instance, we remove all the fleshy part and instead we take the seed that's inside to eat it. That might sound weird, but that's actually the truth. Okay?
Cucumber is a berry. Fact or myth? Subhashri, could you show your answer? So only Nihal got it correct. It's a fact.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next question. Frozen fruit and vegetables aren't as healthy as the fresh ones. Fact. It is a myth, so Subhashri got it right. Because when they get frozen fruit and vegetables, they get it, and directly when they are yet fresh, they refrigerate it, so the nutrients are kept intact the whole time. Okay? We are so happy that we can speak to someone who thoroughly will educate us about such an important topic and answer all the questions that we have. So, with great pleasure, we welcome the founder of Nutrition Untold and dietitian, Miss Maria Hanna, to the Good Afternoon Show.
Hi, everybody.
So happy to get
Hi.
this. Very happy.
Thank you for hosting me.
So, was there a specific moment in your life that made you want to become a dietitian? Has it always been your dream?
Honestly, I think like everybody who just finishes school, I was a bit lost. I wasn't, convinced with which direction I wanted to go, but I knew 3 things. So I knew that I loved food. I grew up in a Middle Eastern family, and as you know, food is like the center of every single occasion that can be there. So, we use food almost everywhere. So that was 1. 2, I knew I wanted to do something that was related to sciences, biology, the human body. And 3, I knew I wanted to be dealing with people. So somehow just nutrition was just, one of the things that combined all 3. And here I am 12 years later.
That's so good. I'm glad that you had it started out. We're all right now looking forward to know what we want, what our passion is. Especially during the final year too.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never be know 100%. So it's just really like, following your gut, what it tells you. But I mean, at some point in your life, you might change careers, so it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
This is a problem I've personally dealt with, and I'm sure there are others as well. We sit all day and all our work is now online. This causes us to feel very drained and tired. Is there any food that can give us energy? Something that can actually act like an antidote?
I mean, generally having a healthy, balanced diet on its own gives you energy. But if I really want to focus on what kind of vitamins, minerals, food groups give you energy, we're looking at sort of three things. So we're looking at food that's rich in B vitamins. We're looking at food that's rich in omega-3, which is healthy fat. And we're looking at foods that's made of complex carbs. So carbs that give you energy for a longer period of time, not that spike up your sugar level very quickly and give you a very quick energy burst and then a drop again. So examples of these kinds of food would be avocado, salmon, so fatty fish, then nuts, because they're also loaded with omega-3. Bananas are always a great source of energy. Apples, yogurt is a good source. Quinoa, oatmeal, brown rice, so all the complex carbs would be also great. Sweet potato, and eggs. And dark chocolate. So, because dark chocolate also is loaded with antioxidants, so that will give you a burst of energy. One thing that a lot of us forget is water. So, a lot of times we feel tired because we're not well hydrated. So, water, make sure you always have a bottle at your desk and you're drinking constantly throughout the day. And then non-food related, I would say, because we're sitting at our desk for very long times, it's a good idea that within every hour we get up and stretch, because that on its own is probably what's keeping us tired as well.
Yeah, so it's like step by step we can get to improve our diet. So there's a saying that goes, nothing gets done overnight. So this must apply to our eating habits as well, yeah? So how do we slowly transition? Suppose that we're someone that isn't really a health fanatic. How do we transition to a state where we are actually taking care of our health along with juggling our daily lives?
So baby steps in everything. I think that's the most important thing. Baby steps, and one small habit at a time. What I encourage a lot of my clients to do is to really try to form and build better habits. And you're right, they aren't built overnight, because if you've spent 10 years of your life doing something a certain way, it's not going to change in one day. So one thing is try to, set small goals for you and focus more on behavioral goals rather than just food. So from a sense, if you're not drinking enough water, set that as a goal. If you feel you're not as active or you're not stretching in between classes, set that as a goal. If your sleeping habits are, you sleep very late, you wake up very early, because that also affects our metabolism and mood, try to sleep half an hour earlier. Don't directly go from sleeping at midnight to sleeping at 8 p.m. It's never going to happen. And then with food, if there's one very important thing is, again, I cannot stress on how important it is that you don't follow a very strict diet where you feel very deprived. So it's important that you eat healthy, but it's important that you enjoy the food you're eating. So if you don't like certain food, there's no need to introduce them to your diet. Just add in more things that you enjoy, and make sure you add in the 5 food groups. So fruits, vegetables, dairy products, carbohydrates, and protein, ideally every day. And try to stay away from anything processed. So, all the processed food, anything fried, try to limit those. And slowly, once you start adding in healthier food items, you realize a lot of the junk that was there will probably disappear on your own, because your body eventually stops craving them. So one habit at a time, foods you enjoy. And last and most important thing is practice mindful eating, which is what Malak was saying, right? So when you start being aware of what you put into your body, how you eat, why you're eating, and make sure you eat your food slowly and mindfully, your body on its own has a way of regulating your portion sizes. It has a way of actually help choosing the right food for you. And it makes you more in control of the food you're eating and what you're putting into your body.
So there are certain things that we've heard about fruits, such as apples. They should not be eaten during the day and avoid eating bananas before dinner. Are any of these myth or they're actually true?
So they are myths. If you eat a certain amount of calories a day, whether you eat them more towards the nighttime or whether you eat them more towards the morning, it's all gonna be the same. At the end of the day, it's what you put into your body throughout the day. So it is a myth. But that being said, I also do encourage people to try to leave at least a 2 hour gap from when they sleep, more for digestion purposes and to improve your quality of sleep. So I don't know if you've ever, had a heavy meal right before you sleep. You realize like you have indigestion, sometimes you have nightmares. So it does tend to affect your digestion issues. It might, make you dream about things you don't want to dream about at night. But calorie wise, or if it causes you to gain weight, no, it is a myth from that sense.
As mentioned before, there are times that we stress eat, and we can use food as a coping mechanism too. That means that having a good eating schedule will not only better our physical health, but also our mental health. We're gonna feel lighter, our mind, we're gonna think easier about stuff. And of course, also gonna help our immunity, especially during such a time where we need to eat more oranges. Okay, final question. That's something that many would find interest in if they are interested in the field of nutrition and diet. What is the most rewarding aspect of your daily job?
To be honest, I mean, for me, I think it's really helping people. Like you really do help them, transform their mindset. They help them change their behavior. And especially when you do it properly, you know that you're helping them for the longer term. So for me, that is the most rewarding thing as a dietitian. And at the end of the day, food is medicine. It helps you also prevent a lot of diseases. So knowing that you can help people, get better and treat certain things with lifestyle, diet, and exercise instead of medication or operations or anything like that is amazing. And I personally do a lot of eating disorders and I deal with a lot of teenagers. And for me, helping them also, with body image, self-esteem, and building a better relationship with food so that once they're older, things are much easier for them. That is also very, very, very rewarding.
Yeah, it must be very inspiring to see that you're having an effect, a visible effect on someone in front of you, even if it might need patience. It does have an
Exactly.
effect again.
Yeah. It needs a lot of patience because changing a person's behavior or making sure you're motivating them is not always super easy. But at the end of the day, it's worth it, especially when 2-3 months after you've worked with them, you realize, wow, like they've really changed so much, and they feel the change, and they're feeling better, and their energy levels are better, and they're just on a better journey towards health.
Yeah, food is an underrated tool for life, basically.
True. No, I mean, they say like, food is what you put in your body is can either treat or create an illness, right? So it's so important that we're very aware of what we put into our body on a health perspective.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
Anytime.